There's a phrase that haunts me. It's something a cardiologist once said in an interview, and I've never been able to forget it. He said, "Most of my patients didn't have a heart attack. They had a lifetime of small decisions that finally caught up with them." Think about that for a moment. A lifetime of small decisions. Not one catastrophic choice, not one moment of recklessness, just thousands of ordinary moments, ordinary meals, ordinary habits, compounding silently over decades until the body breaks. This is the reality that nobody wants to talk about. We love stories of transformation. We love the 8-week intervention, the dramatic before and after, the reversal of biological age. But we don't like to talk about what happens when we do nothing, when we keep living the way we've always lived, when we accept the standard American diet, the standard American lifestyle as normal. Because normal is killing us, slowly, quietly, invisibly. Let's go back to the Stanford study one more time. Remember, there were two groups: the vegan twins, who reversed their biological age, yes, but also the omnivore twins, the ones who ate what most Americans eat: meat, dairy, eggs, processed foods, added sugars. And what happened to them? They aged. Not dramatically, not catastrophically, but measurably. Their epigenetic clocks kept ticking forward, their inflammation levels stayed elevated, their metabolic markers worsened. They didn't do anything wrong. They just did what everyone around them was doing. And that's the tragedy. Because the path of least resistance, the path that feels normal and acceptable and comfortable, is the path that leads to chronic disease, premature aging, and shortened life. So let's talk about what's really happening when you eat the standard Western diet. Let's talk about the molecular warfare being waged inside your body with every meal. Because this isn't abstract. This is happening right now, in your arteries, in your cells, in your DNA. Start with red meat. When you eat red meat, your body produces something called TMAO, trimethylamine N oxide. TMAO is produced when gut bacteria break down carnitine and choline, compounds found in high concentrations in animal products. And TMAO is a problem. It's been linked to increased risk of heart attack, stroke, and cardiovascular disease. It promotes the formation of arterial plaque. It damages the lining of your blood vessels. It accelerates atherosclerosis. This isn't speculation. This is documented in studies from the Cleveland Clinic, from Harvard, from institutions around the world. Every time you eat a steak, a burger, a serving of red meat, you're flooding your system with a compound that actively harms your cardiovascular system. Then there's processed meat: bacon, sausage, deli meats, hot dogs. The World Health Organization has classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same category as tobacco and asbestos. Not might cause cancer, not possibly linked to cancer, causes cancer. Specifically colorectal cancer, but also pancreatic and stomach cancer. The mechanism is well understood. Processed meats contain nitrites and nitrates, which form carcinogenic compounds called N-nitroso compounds in your digestive tract. They also contain high levels of saturated fat and salt, which contribute to inflammation, high blood pressure, and metabolic dysfunction. And dairy. We've been told our whole lives that we need dairy for strong bones, for calcium. But here's what the research actually shows. Countries with the highest dairy consumption, the United States, Sweden, Finland, also have the highest rates of osteoporosis and hip fractures. How is that possible? Because dairy is acidic when metabolized, and your body needs to neutralize that acidity by pulling calcium from your bones. Dairy also contains hormones, actual bovine hormones designed to grow a calf into a full-sized cow in a matter of months. When you consume those hormones, they disrupt your own endocrine system.
They've been linked to increased risk of prostate cancer, breast cancer, and ovarian cancer. This isn't anti-dairy propaganda. This is peer-reviewed science. But let's zoom out, because it's not just about individual foods, it's about the entire pattern. The standard American diet is built on the foundation of processed foods. Foods that have been stripped of fiber, loaded with sugar, pumped full of chemicals to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. These foods are designed to be hyper-palatable, to hijack your brain's reward system, to keep you coming back for more. And they're everywhere. In every grocery store, every gas station, every vending machine. They're cheap, they're convenient, they're addictive, and they're destroying us. When you eat processed foods, you spike your blood sugar. Your pancreas releases insulin to bring that sugar down. But over time, with repeated spikes, your cells become resistant to insulin. They stop responding. Your pancreas has to produce more and more insulin to do the same job. Eventually, it can't keep up. Your blood sugar stays elevated. You develop prediabetes, then diabetes. And diabetes isn't just about blood sugar. It's about systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, damage to your nerves, your kidneys, your eyes, your heart. It's about accelerated aging at every level. And the inflammation. God, the inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is the silent engine driving almost every chronic disease. Heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, arthritis, autoimmune conditions. And what fuels that inflammation? The foods you eat. Saturated fats trigger inflammatory pathways. Refined sugars create oxidative stress. Trans fats, still present in many processed foods despite regulations, directly damage your cell membranes. Your immune system is constantly on high alert, constantly fighting, constantly inflamed. And that state of chronic activation wears your body down. It ages you. It breaks you. Now let's talk about the omnivore twins in the Stanford study. They weren't eating terribly. They weren't living on fast food and soda. They were eating what most health-conscious Americans eat, a balanced diet. Some vegetables, sure, but also meat, dairy, eggs, moderate amounts of processed foods, what the dietitians call everything in moderation. And yet they aged. Their bodies didn't reverse, they progressed. Because moderate harm is still harm. Slow poison is still poison. You wouldn't tell a smoker to smoke in moderation, would you? So why do we accept that logic for our diet? And here's what breaks my heart. These people, the omnivore twins and millions of Americans just like them, they think they're doing fine. They think they're healthy enough. They feel okay. Until they don't. Until the chest pain starts. Until the diagnosis comes. Until the doctor says your cholesterol is too high, your blood pressure is too high, your A1C is too high. We need to start you on medication. And then it's a lifetime of pills. A lifetime of managing symptoms instead of addressing causes. A lifetime of declining function, declining vitality, declining life. But it doesn't have to be this way. And that's what I want you to understand. The contrast between the two groups in the Stanford study isn't just about diet, it's about trajectory. It's about the future you're creating with every choice you make. The vegan twins weren't just eating differently, they were investing differently. Investing in a future of vitality, longevity, health. The omnivore twins were spending their health capital, burning through their biological reserves, mortgaging their future for the comfort of the present. And this brings me to something crucial, because diet is foundational, yes, but longevity isn't just about what you eat, it's about how you live. It's a system, a lifestyle. The Stanford study controlled for other variables, sleep, stress, exercise, to isolate the effect of diet. But in real life, these things are interconnected. They reinforce each other.
And if you want to truly thrive, if you want to not just live longer but live better, you need to address all of them. Let's start with sleep. Americans are chronically sleep deprived. We wear it like a badge of honor.
I only need 5 hours. I'll sleep when I'm dead. But here's the truth. When you don't sleep, your body can't repair. It can't consolidate memories. It can't regulate hormones. Sleep is when your brain clears out metabolic waste, when your immune system recharges, when your cells rebuild. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cognitive decline, and yes, accelerated aging. The research from Harvard and the Mayo Clinic is unequivocal. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night isn't the luxury, it's a biological necessity. Then there's stress. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, a hormone that, in the short term, helps you survive threats. But in the long term, it's toxic. Elevated cortisol suppresses your immune system, disrupts your sleep, increases inflammation, promotes fat storage around your organs, and accelerates cellular aging. Studies have shown that people under chronic stress have shorter telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes. Shorter telomeres mean older cells. Stress literally ages your DNA. And yet, we live in a society that glorifies hustle, that pathologizes rest, that treats stress as inevitable. It's not inevitable. It's a choice, and you can choose differently. Exercise, movement. This is non-negotiable. Your body was designed to move, not to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day, not to be sedentary. When you exercise, particularly strength training and resistance exercise, you trigger a cascade of beneficial effects. You build muscle, which increases your metabolic rate and protects your bones. You improve insulin sensitivity. You reduce inflammation. You stimulate the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports cognitive function and protect against dementia. You literally build a younger, stronger, more resilient body. The research from Johns Hopkins and the Mayo Clinic shows that regular exercise can add years to your life and life to your years. And finally, connection, purpose, meaning. This is the part that modern medicine often ignores, but it matters just as much as anything else. Human beings are social creatures. We need connection. We need to feel part of something larger than ourselves. Studies of the world's blue zones, the regions where people live the longest, healthiest lives, consistently show that social connection and a sense of purpose are among the most powerful predictors of longevity. People who have strong relationships, who contribute to their communities, who have a reason to get up in the morning, live longer and healthier than those who don't. Loneliness and isolation are as dangerous to your health as smoking or obesity. Connection isn't soft science, it's survival. So here's the full picture. The omnivore twins in the Stanford study aged because they were eating foods that promote inflammation, oxidative stress, and harmful DNA methylation. But if they had also been sleep-deprived, chronically stressed, sedentary, and socially isolated, they would have aged even faster because these factors compound. They reinforce each other. Poor diet leads to poor sleep. Poor sleep leads to poor stress management. Poor stress management leads to poor food choices. It's a downward spiral, and breaking out of that spiral requires a systems approach, not perfection, not extremism, but intentionality. Let me tell you about a patient I heard about from a physician colleague. A man in his late 50s, overweight, pre-diabetic, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, on 4 different medications, exhausted all the time. His doctor told him he was on track for a heart attack within 10 years. So he made a choice. He switched to a whole food, plant-based diet. He started walking every day. He prioritized sleep. He joined a meditation group to manage his stress, and within 6 months, he was off all his medications. His weight had normalized. His blood pressure was normal. His cholesterol was normal. His energy was back. The most incredible part? His doctor called him the miracle of biology. But it wasn't a miracle. It was biology. It was giving the body what it needs and removing what it doesn't. And this is what I want you to understand. The contrast we're talking about between the two groups in the Stanford study, between a plant-based lifestyle and a Western lifestyle, isn't just academic. It's personal. It's your life, your future, your vitality. Every meal is a choice. Every day is a choice. And those choices add up. They compound. They create the person you'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So let me ask you something. What kind of future are you creating? Are you investing in health, or are you spending it? Are you moving toward vitality, or are you drifting toward decline? And if you don't like the answer, what are you willing to do about it? Because here's the thing. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. But you do have to start. You have to decide that your health matters, that your future matters, that you're worth the effort. And then you have to take one step. Maybe that's trying a plant-based meal tonight. Maybe it's going to bed an hour earlier. Maybe it's taking a walk around the block. Maybe it's calling a friend you haven't talked to in a while. One step, and then another, and then another. The omnivore twins in the Stanford study didn't fail. They just continued on the path they were already on, the path that most of us are on, the path of least resistance. But the vegan twins, they chose a different path, not because it was easier, but because it led somewhere better. And 8 weeks later, their bodies were younger, their futures were brighter, their lives were changed. You have the same choice, the same opportunity, the same power to rewrite your biological story. The question is, will you take it? I want to leave you with this. There's a concept in economics called compound interest. The idea that small amounts of money invested consistently over time grow exponentially because you're earning interest on your interest. Health works the same way. Every healthy choice you make today doesn't just benefit you today, it benefits you tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. It compounds. And over time, those small choices create enormous differences. The difference between vitality and frailty, between independence and dependence, between living fully and merely surviving. The standard American lifestyle is negative compound interest. Every unhealthy choice, every moment of neglect, every compromise compounds in the other direction. It erodes your health capital. It accelerates your decline. And by the time you notice, by the time the symptoms appear, you've already been in debt for years. But here's the beautiful thing. It's never too late to start compounding in the right direction. The body has an extraordinary capacity for healing when you give it the chance. The participants in the Stanford study were 40 years old on average, not 20, not 30, 40, middle-aged, and they still reversed their biological age in 8 weeks. Imagine what could happen in 8 months, in 8 years. Imagine the trajectory you could create. So now you know what's stealing your years and what can give them back. Would you dare to try this 8-week reset yourself? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. The next inconvenient truth could change how you see your health forever.